I guess people do read our blog, which is quite surprising to me because I don't know whether people still read blogs, but apparently they do.
Oh, I hope they do because Tech in Asia is kind of a blog. So.
Yeah, I know.
Hello and welcome to Startup Snapshot, a Tech in Asia podcast. My name is Nat, and if this is your first time tuning in, this is a mini-series that we're running here at Tech in Asia where we hear from founders and leaders in the startup scene to learn their stories, the challenges they face, and to gain some insight on their industries and the innovations that they're making. With me today is Joline Tang, founder of the Sustainability Project. Welcome to the podcast, Joline.
Hello, thanks for having me.
Hey, it's very fun to have you here. So maybe let's start this off. Tell all of us a little bit about the Sustainability Project.
Okay, so basically the Sustainability Project, which I'm just going to call TSP for short.
Oh yeah, sure.
So what we do is that we're a Singapore-based online company that tries to encourage people to adopt a zero or low-waste lifestyle. So how we do this is through 3 different arms. So we have the Educate, Transform as well as Inspire. So Educate, it's basically our blog, which was how we started out. In the blog, it's sharing tips on how to be a sustainable consumer in Singapore. We have topics relating to sustainability reporting, sustainable businesses, sustainable lifestyle, and then sometimes we also interview other green business owners just to share about what they're doing in Singapore. So that's our Educate portion. Then we have the Transform portion, which is mainly the shop. So we sell a range of products that are considerably affordable prices and of high quality, basically to encourage people to take small steps to transit their lifestyle into a zero or low waste one. And then we have our Inspire arm, which mainly is everything else that does not fall within the blog and the shop. So we have workshops, we have trips to Semakau, we have talks, we have events, and everything that we can find just to encourage people to, incorporate sustainability into their lifestyle.
Wow, okay. So it seems like you're doing a lot of different things.
Yes.
Right, okay. Sounds very exciting. So yeah. I know you guys have been in the business for, about 3-4 years?
So we started in 2017, the blog-wise.
Okay.
But the shop was started in 2018. So if I count the shop, it's just 1-ish year.
Okay.
But for the blog, maybe about 2 years already.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting that you started with the blog first.
Yes.
And then you set up a shop, right?
Yeah.
Because a lot of the times you see e-commerce platforms popping up, and then to capture their audience, then they start the blog.
Yes.
Kind of to do like content marketing or to express some thought leadership in their respective industries, right? So how did you actually come across to start the blog in the first place?
Okay, so the blog was mainly during my own holiday period. I didn't really have a lot of things to do.
Oh, okay. You were in school then?
I was having internship, so it was considered school.
Okay.
So I wanted to do something more about sharing sustainable lifestyle in Singapore. That's how it started, because back then not a lot of people were aware about sustainability and how to be a conscious consumer. So mainly the blog was where I just wrote articles because I like to write at the same time.
Right.
So I just wanted to use that as a platform to start writing articles for people to read. I didn't actually have any aim in mind. It was just to share. And then it was after that, I was still maintaining the blog, and then I went for exchange. And during my exchange...
Oh, where did you go?
I went Norway.
Oh, Norway. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah. So lifestyle there was much slower, and then you also don't really have a lot of things to do.
Oh, there's not much to do in Norway? Because I was just about to ask what we're supposed to do there. Okay, cool.
They love to hike and see the nature and stuff like that, but it's very cool as well.
Right.
So we didn't have a lot of things to do, and I sat down to think like, okay, what I really wanted to do after I graduate. That's when I decided, back then there was a gap in the market. There weren't a lot of brands advocating zero waste lifestyle or even encouraging people to adopt a low waste lifestyle. And you can't really find a lot of products back then, like before 2018. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna give this a shot. I'll just try and sell some products and see whether people would want to purchase them or not. And so that was how I started. In Norway, I contacted my supplier. I did up like the incorporating of the company, the website, website. So I did it in Norway. Then when I came back in 2018, then I decided to launch like TSP as a shop at the same time.
Okay, so it was already called the Sustainability Project when it was a blog.
Yes.
And then you incorporated it while you were in Norway.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Maybe dialing it a little further back. How actually did you come to be this kind of advocate for sustainable living? Like, where did you find that interest?
Okay, that I think it dated all the way back to maybe 2011. So back then I was also in school. I was in a polytechnic at the point of time. I was studying accounting, and like as accountant you use a lot of papers because you need to write like the journal entries and stuff like that.
Right.
So I saw my friend like just using one side and throwing it away, and I started collecting their paper that was used only on one side so that I can use the other side. And it kind of started my recycling habit as well. So that was how it kind of started. I saw my friend throwing away their paper, and then I started collecting the paper for me to use. Then I went for internship and I heard about like environmental audit, and I wanted to try it as well. So after I graduated, I wanted to study environmental science, but I couldn't get in. In the end, I continued with my accounting degree in SMU. But when I went to SMU, like I told myself I wanted to do environmental related stuff besides studying. So I became like they had like environmental club. So I joined, and fortunately enough, like they made me the vice president and stuff like that. We ran projects, and then we had like fashion swaps and stuff like that. Yeah, then besides that in SMU, I also did like a small internship in a startup as well. That startup sold biodegradable and compostable party wear. Yeah, so back then I think they were one of the first few movers or so that was encouraging people to use compostable and biodegradable party wares instead of like plastic or styrofoam. Then after that I did another internship regarding sustainability reporting. So I kind of like touched different aspects. Mm-hmm. So like in a small startup, in a big corporation, like how it went about. And I guess for me, myself, like sustainability has sort of been like a burning, like a passion. Yeah, that's pretty much how I started. It kind of grew gradually. Like over the years, then I started incorporating more zero waste practices into my life rather than it being like an overnight process.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So were you always kind of low/zero waste like in your lifestyle?
I would say yes, because I don't really buy a lot of unnecessary things.
Right.
Maybe just clothing, but after I came back from Norway, like I decided not to buy any more new clothing, so I only shop like secondhand now. Yeah, I don't really buy a lot of things actually, mainly just food.
Okay, yeah, because you can't get secondhand food, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so back to the sustainability project. You started the blog in 2017. The following year, you set up the shop because you wanted to foray kind of into a new endeavor, right? So what was this inciting moment that led you to really, hey, I want to set up a shop?
Okay, I think it was mainly because I felt in Singapore there weren't a lot of people doing a lot of things about sustainability, and I wanted people within our own age range to kind of like make that transit. So even with the blog, like it shares with you tips and insights and knowledge about sustainability, but if you want to make that change, you can't really find that avenue around. So I started a shop because I wanted to provide people with the platform to make that change. Actually, I never really wanted to start a shop. It just kind of came along the way.
It just kind of fit the business.
Yeah, it kind of fit in. Yeah, it kind of fitted in. I never planned to do retail. It just sort of came along the way. So I'm just like going with the flow first.
And you had some experience with a startup in your internship before, but in this situation when you're running your own startup at that time, and you were by yourself, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what was that like as a solopreneur?
I guess because, okay, I didn't find any partner because it's quite tricky in the sense that whatever I do in my business, the first thing we think about is the environment rather than profits actually. So we realized from the way like we package our items, it's all using old materials only. Until now, we actually haven't spent a single cent on packaging material.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so we collect like boxes from people, and then we print our way bills on paper that are used on one side, and people don't want them anymore, so we collect them and we use. So it's very hard for somebody who doesn't understand sustainability to see things in my point of view. They will be like, question mark, like, why are you running the business this way? But it has to be run this way in order for it to truly be zero waste. So like even the tapes we use, like we collect them from people. So as much as we try to not to buy anything and really to use what somebody would throw away as our own treasure. So I didn't really find a business partner because I think there would be a lot of conflicts in how we would run the business if I bring in somebody that doesn't really understand what I'm doing. I think the whole journey was quite scary because I had no experience with any of this like entrepreneur and stuff like that. I just went on and just like, okay, I'm just going to try this shop. I'm just going to see how it goes. Just put in some money and then like buy some stocks and sell it. And I guess along the way, that was when I learned, you know, like how to price your items, how to deal with customers especially. So far, thankfully, all our customers are very nice. Like we haven't been scolded by anyone yet.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. So it's actually a very nice experience, and I think it was very fulfilling because it's like I just tried it and it just happened along the way also. I think a lot on luck, which some people also don't believe, but I honestly feel like a lot of luck came into place for TSP itself, because back in 2018, that was when everybody started being aware about like plastic straw and plastic pollution, because before that the market demand wasn't really there, and suddenly from 2018 you like see like a boom. Everybody was trying to switch to a more sustainable lifestyle, and like, I think if I didn't start in 2018, I might have come into the game a bit later.
Right, because luck is actually a very big part of the startup world, right?
Yeah.
You know, you have to find the right time to come in, can't be too early, too late, gotta, you know, have the right market fit and everything.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but definitely there were some challenges that you faced, especially because you had no experience running a business before, first business, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what was it like in the first few months, I guess, of starting TSP?
So actually the first few months was still quite chill because I was still studying. So the pressure wasn't that great yet. It's just like I'm just coping this. It's like a part-time thing with school. So I just need to make sure that I manage not failing my classes and just doing this at the same time. Then I think it got a bit more like adulting after I graduated, when I really decide whether is this going to be a full-time or a part-time job.
When did you graduate? When you already had the shop?
So I graduated officially in August, but my exams kind of ended in April. After that, I was deciding whether to do this full-time or part-time, and seeing to check whether the finances are even like sustainable. I would honestly say that at the start, it didn't seem very sustainable, and I'm still trying to gauge whether is it for now, because as with all the demand going up, there were a lot of competitors that came in as well, and it's a good thing, like everybody's trying to encourage sustainable living, but when you have more competitors, the market share gets more diluted as well. So I was trying to see whether is this sustainable as a business, which I think I'm still trying to gauge, and also it's gotten more competitive. If you realize that like Carousel, they sell a lot of metal straws and everything. I think Alibaba also, and the prices are really very cheap as compared to what we're offering, and people will definitely compare the prices, and then they'll like question us and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah.
But you had this edge, which was that you started with a blog. So you kind of had this thought leadership platform to tell people, to tell your target market, right? Like, hey, we know there are competitors, but we also know what we're doing. We fully believe in our advocacy to be sustainable in our living, right?
Yeah.
Did that help in any way, in a concrete way?
I guess it did. Actually, for the blog, it was mainly out of inspiration basis. So we don't try to fit content in. What we do is that so for myself, whenever I have this like topic that I'm dying to share, then I will just draft a blog article about it and then share from there. So sometimes you realize our blog articles are a bit slow, or sometimes we have more. It really depends on like what we're thinking of and what we encounter during our own experience that made us want to write the blog. I guess people do read our blog, which is quite surprising to me because I don't know whether people still read blogs, but apparently they do.
Well, I hope they do, because Tech in Asia is kind of a blog. So.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, so I guess it's encouraging because they read our blog. And our blog, we don't really hard sell our products also. It's just like, for example, we have stuff that covers, when you want to go second-hand shopping, how do you kind of slowly eliminate fast fashion from your life? Or like, what about knowing what palm oil actually is? How is it sustainable? Stuff like that. So we cover different topics. We don't cover like, product A is good because that kind of stuff. It's really more for general sharing and for people to just educate themselves. So I guess it did help in that sense. Like people read it and then they like what we write. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So you started this by yourself, but now do you have a team?
Yeah. So now I kind of took in interns.
Okay.
Yeah, so they kind of help me on a part-time basis because ultimately we'll need help like during events especially, or even content creation. So we get them to write the articles themselves based on whatever topic they want to share, or even doing up Instagram posts, or dealing with customers, with clients. Yeah, so currently we have about 2 interns just to help us and also to let them contribute to the sustainability sector in Singapore, because that's mainly what they all want to do. They want to not only sell stuff, they want to like do the workshops, the talks, the trips, and try to impact other people's lives to make like small little changes around.
Right. Yeah. So but full-time, as an employee, it's really just you still?
Yeah, it's still me.
Okay. So
Yeah.
so still kind of solopreneur life and everything. How do you cope with being a solopreneur?
I guess business not doing very well and like doing well sometimes is like, it's something common that all of us kind of face as business owners. It does get a bit worrying sometimes. Then I try not to think too much about it and like focus on what else I can do to spread the sustainable message in Singapore. Because if I focus too much on, I know finances are important, but if I focus too much on it, I feel like I'm deviating from the whole reason why I started TSP in the first place. So I'm still judging, which is why I said like I'm still trying to see how things go and whether is it really feasible for me to hold this as a full-time job, or whether sooner or later I need to like, I don't know, find another job or something like that. I don't know.
Okay.
But I'll see as time goes, and because like the demand, the supply, it also affects our business. We'll try to drive more education programs rather than just like selling items or so.
Right. So you did mention, a lot of copycats came up. Not copycats, but similar businesses came up after you started TSP. You were kind of an early entrant into sustainable living. And then a lot of other people started putting up their own shops. Bigger players like Carousel and Alibaba, you said, also sold these sustainable items. Did it actually impact TSP's business?
I think it did, but also with the increase of supply, there was like an increase of demand. So there were times where like you can see it sort of being affected, and when you go like scroll through Instagram and you see like a lot of new businesses opening here and there, initially you kind of get like, oh no, like so dejected and stuff like that, and a bit worried because the market's already very small, and then with so many people coming in, it's just gonna get more saturated and everybody's gonna be like fighting with each other in that sense. But it kind of made me try to pivot instead. So that was when I decided, okay, selling is one thing, but we're just gonna go a bit more back into education, which is why we started holding trips, workshops, not just purely sell items, because honestly everybody can sell items, but it's the education part and the knowledge and the experience that it's something that we kind of have, which is a bit longer,
right,
that we can share with people. Yeah, so that was how I guess I dealt with the competition. But then again, a lot of people would start pivoting also. Then we'll see what else to do after like that.
Right. It's always a
Yeah.
constant keeping on the lookout and seeing the opportunities in the market, right?
Yeah.
So these workshops that you guys hold, what are these workshops actually?
Okay, so we have, for example, how to make your own package-free lip balm and lotion bar. And then we recently held one, how to make your own jams and dips with ugly fruits and vegetables. So all these workshops, how it works is that we collaborate with different makers. It's not just us doing it. Partly what I believe in is also collaborating. So even for our workshops, we work with different organizations just to bring in the different expertise and to educate our own customer base. So even for our shop, now we're trying to transit most of our stuff to locally made. So we've been like doing the transit slowly. I think initially when we started, there was maybe less than 20% that was like made locally, but now it's about 70% of our items are made locally.
Right, that's a big increase from before.
Yeah,
right?
so because ultimately we're trying to help the own community,
Right.
and also if I keep importing overseas, the carbon footprint is quite high. Yeah, so that's why I decided for items that requires specific brands overseas, because they patent their design, then I'll get them overseas. But if like handmade stuff or like soaps, you can get it locally, then I'm like, why not?
Yeah. Okay. So do you have any future plans in store for TSP?
Future plans wise, I guess I'm taking it one step at a time.
Oh yeah, okay.
Right now I'm just trying to see where everything is going with the 3 arms now, because we just started the Inspire arm this year. So our talks, workshop, trips, it kind of all started this year. So I'm trying to see how is it going to go and whether people are even keen about it. One thing that I do have in mind might be a bit towards sustainability consulting. But for that, I'm still thinking about it and like how to approach it and whether people are even going to want to engage our services, something along that line.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
I guess in future, rather than focusing on the individual like that, you're looking to tap into the market of companies looking to go 0/low waste.
Yeah, because I guess both individuals and businesses both have their part to play, because even if the consumers, we do like so much, if the business, they have so much power, they can just like offset everything that we do.
Right.
Ultimately, yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
And thank you for sharing your startup story.
Yes.
Once again, my name is Nat, and this was Joline Tang from the Sustainability Project.
Thank you.
This is the last episode of Startup Snapshot this time round. We have 2 other full episodes on the Tech in Asia webpage at techinasia.com and on Facebook at facebook.com/techinasia. You can also find us on Spotify at Startup Snapshot. Let us know if you like this episode and we'll possibly do more. Let us know what you want to hear. Let us know what worked for you. And if you did not like anything, let us know by sending us an email at podcast@techinasia.com and let us know why you hated it. You can also drop us comments on Facebook or on the Tech in Asia webpage. But until next time, if there is a next time, thank you so much for tuning in to Startup Snapshot. My name is Nat, and goodbye.